Hi, welcome to Budget MTG Decks. All magic fun, all cards under $1. I'm David.
I'm Stefan.
And today we're going to be looking at all the black cards in Aether Revolt.
So we're going to evaluate them for limited, so draft or sealed. In your pre-release, you will get 4 Aether Revolt boosters and 2 Kaladesh boosters.
That's right. And we're going to be reviewing these cards according to our 3-tier system. Tier 1 is, yes, I'm playing this color. This is so good. This is going to win me the game. Tier 2 is, okay, if I got more of these kind of tier 2 cards, I'm definitely playing that color, and if I'm already in that color, bam, auto include. Tier 3, filler to fill out your mana curve, make sure you got your 2 drops, 3 drops, 4 drops, etc. And then finally the cards we're going to put aside. Those are situational at best, and only play them in the most dire circumstances. So let's have a look at the common cards first. Our first common card is Augmenting Automaton. For 1 generic, we get a 1/1 artifact creature, which has a very cool ability. For a generic and a black, we get to give this creature +1/+1 until the end of turn. This is another one of those cards. Early game is great. You put it down turn 1, turn 2, you're attacking with it with the potential of it being a 2/2. They don't know. And then late game, of course, you can also pump all your mana into it and make it big. So it scales very nicely. I would say if you're in black, tier 2, auto include.
Exactly. Have you seen before, a lot of creatures that just pump up power is really good. So tier 2.
Yeah.
Because you can always play it.
And it's a surprise, of course.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're going to. You don't have to.
So next one, 4th Bridge Prowler. A black, a 1/1 human rogue. And when 4th Bridge Prowler enters the battlefield, you may have target creature get -1/-1 until end of turn. So it's nice because you don't have to do anything to get something -1/-1. And if you don't have a target for it, you don't have to give something -1/-1.
Yeah.
So it's just really nice. It's a 1/1 that doubles as removal.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, late game, you can just do combat, and then maybe you just didn't kill something, and you can still play this in your second main phase and still kill that thing after all, when you didn't expect it. Next card, Implement of Malice. For 2 generic. It's an artifact. We can pay a black and sacrifice it to have target player discard a card. We can only do this sorcery speed. And if this card goes from the battlefield into the graveyard, we also get to draw a card. You may think, okay, we're paying 3 mana to have somebody discard a card, and us drawing a card, it's not as good as, of course, for 3 mana as drawing 2 cards. I think I would put this card aside, because the card they're discarding, they can, of course, choose what they're going to discard, something that's not very relevant, and we're still paying this card to be able to do it.
Exactly. It replaces itself, but it doesn't do enough because you play a card and then you have to play 3 mana, so just not enough.
No, exactly.
So Aether Poisoner, 1/1 black. It's a 1/1 human artificer with death touch, and when she enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy counters. And when she attacks, you may pay 2 energy counters to create a 1/1 colorless server artifact tokens. So, as we've seen before, the ones that enter the battlefield with 2 energy counters and an attack for a servo. So this isn't bad at all, because it's a 1/1 death toucher for 2 mana, and it has another 1/1 body. So you can block anything with this, and then you still have a 1/1 body left. So tier 2 for me.
Yeah, very, very strong. I love 1/1 death touchers. I think they really dissuade your opponent from attacking with their fatties, with their bombs. They don't want to use removal on it because it's just a 1/1. I think it does a lot of work, and especially this guy also makes an extra little guy on top of it, or gives you extra energy. So I think super, super strong. I would always include it in black.
Exactly.
Right? Next card, Resourceful Return. For a 1 and a black. So for 2 mana, we get a sorcery that allows us to return target creature card from our graveyard back to our hand. If we control an artifact, we draw a card. Now we've seen a set. We're probably going to have at least 1 artifact. It's heavy. We can change that, as in we can build decks that have more artifacts, but even if it's just 1, that's enough. You don't have to have lots of them. It's not like with Improvise that the more the better. And late game, for just 2, you're going to be able to get your very strong bomb back from the graveyard to your hand, and also drawing a card. So even if you don't have that, still being able to get that big thing back, I think is pretty sweet. So I would always include it. I'd put it tier 2. Because, especially because of that draw an extra card.
Exactly. Thing. Even if you had like a mediocre creature, it's just for 2 mana, you can get a creature back and you can draw a card. So that's why it's just really good.
Yeah, one thing you know is good, the other thing you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
So it's actually even better than draw 2 cards, I would say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So tier 2. And next one, Defiant Demolition. 2 and a black. It's a 2/2 Aetherborn Artificer, and sacrifice an artifact or creature, put a +1/+1 counter on Defiant Salvager. Access ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. So sorcery speed, you sacrifice all these things, attack, and then removal. Then it's dead.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I really don't like this one, because sorcery speed is just really annoying because you don't have any choice in there before you block or attack. So that's what I don't like about it, because you get less choice.
Yeah, in essence, your opponent's gonna wait until a point where you think, oh, now's a great time for me to sacrifice my little stuff to make this guy big, and then boom, they're gonna get you, and you're gonna feel so bad because now instead of having 3 creatures, you're gonna have 0. For example,
exactly.
and they're gonna have blown you out completely doing that. So just you don't play it. It's too dangerous. Next card we have is Cruel Finality for 2 and a black. So for 3 mana, we get an instant, which says target creature gets -2/-2 until the end of turn, and scry 1. -2/-2 may not seem like a lot, but there's a lot of very good utility, very good creatures with very nice abilities. They all have toughness 2 or less. And on top of that, you can also use this in combat to make something that's thought that it was going to be able to kill your creature. You're going to make that thing small now, so that thing dies. Your thing doesn't die anymore. It's got a lot of versatility. Plus, on top of that, I also get the half the draw, basically, with Scry 1. Very strong. I don't see a situation where I wouldn't be happy playing this in black.
Exactly. It's just decent removal. It isn't great, but it's removal.
Yeah.
It removes nearly everything. So yeah. Next one.
Nearly everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't remove nearly everything. I mean, it's good to remove the smaller stuff.
Yeah.
In combat. Combat trick.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a good combat trick, yeah.
I've actually seen a lot of things are like 3/2, 2/2s. There are not many 2/3s and not many X4s.
Sure.
So yeah, I think most of the things you'll see will be removed.
You'll have a target. You won't be able to. I disagree in the sense that you'll be able to hit everything, but I think you'll always have something you'll be happy hitting with this.
Yeah. So Renegade Getaway, 2 and a black instant. Target permanent gains indestructible until end of turn. Create a 1/1 color server artifact creature. So it gives you a 1/1 and makes something indestructible. It's a shame that you don't make a token beforehand, because then you have a surprise blocker, but still you get something indestructible, you get a 1/1. It isn't bad at all, so it's a decent combat trick.
Yeah, but you could still use it as a surprise blocker, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Before declaring blockers, you can still play this and then block with it.
So
and something indestructible.
Exactly.
Right?
Something attacks, you make something unblockable, double block something.
Indestructible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tier 3, I wouldn't be too excited about this card because you're really using it to protect something or to stop yourself from getting damaged, but it doesn't really change too much, in power and toughness like Cruel Finality does, for example. Mm-hmm. Next card is Ali's Strangler for 2 and a black. So for 3 mana, we get a 2/3 Aetherborn Rogue with Menace. Now, I kind of like this because a 2/3 for 3 I think is a good, decent body. Somebody on turn 2 plays their 2/2 bear, then on turn 3 you play this 2/3. Now all of a sudden they can't attack you efficiently anymore, and you can if you want to. On top of that, if you are attacking, it's got Menace, so they got to double block it.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet, actually. This is a very decent tier 3. I think I put this high on the tier 3. It's a filler that you're happy to fill your deck out with.
Exactly. Like we said before, a 2/2 body for 3 isn't too bad, and this has Menace, and it's already a 2/3. So yeah,
great deal actually. High tier 3, absolutely.
So next one, Night Market Aeronaut, 3 and a black. It's a 2/2 Aetherborn Warrior with flying, and has Revolt. And when he enters the battlefield, he can get a +1/+1 counter if a permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn. So it's a 4 mana 2/2 with flying, but it can be a 4 mana 3/3 with flying. You're probably not going to bank on it being 3/3, but still 2/2 flying isn't too bad. So if you have nothing else, then a tier 3.
I mean, blue's got better deals and white's got better deals when it comes to flyers with power and toughness.
Yeah.
But on the off chance that it is a 3/3 flyer for 4, that is really strong.
Exactly. That's really nice.
We've seen not a lot of stuff that can handle that in the air. So that's a tier 3 decent filler, absolutely. Daring Demolition for 2 and 2 black. So for 4 mana, we get a sorcery speed removal, which destroys target creature or vehicle. Very cool. So now all of a sudden the sorcery speed removal can hit those vehicles.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. And of course, always the ones that destroyed artifacts could always hit those anyway. But this is very good. I mean, pretty much unconditional removal that also hits the vehicles, which normally stuff that destroys creatures can't hit.
Yeah.
So I would say a tier 2, absolutely. Just throw that sucker in. You got a couple of these, you're looking at black for sure.
Exactly. Next one, Fenhaler. 6 and a black with improvise. It's a 5/5 insect and it cannot be blocked by artifact creatures. So it's a really big creature, but still 7 mana. It has improvise and it cannot be blocked with artifact creatures. So yeah, I want to say just tier 3. If you don't have anything big, then play this one because it's still a big creature.
Yeah, and of course it won't be blocked by those 1/1 Serphos or 1/1 Thopters. So at least you've got that going for it. So you'll probably trade with something slightly bigger, or it will kill something slightly bigger on the attack. So don't feel too bad about putting it in, but it's not your end-all bomb that's going to win you the game.
And it cannot be blocked by vehicles, so that's nice.
That's also very true.
Yes.
Very cool.
So those were the comments.
Not too bad. All right, let's have a look at the uncommons.
So the first uncommon is Fatal Push. For black, an instant, destroy a creature. It's a confirmed mana cost 2 or less. And with Revolt, you can destroy a confirmed mana cost 4 or less creature. So it can destroy anything small, and if you have Revolt, after blockers or something like that, you can destroy something bigger. But you will probably not be able to destroy a bomb. And it's still removal, but not really great removal.
No. Especially in limited, it's so important that your removal is able to hit your opponent's big winning game cards, and this one just won't do that. That doesn't mean it doesn't have a place, because as you see, it will still be able to hit quite a lot of stuff that's on the battlefield, so it will have a place, but it just doesn't bring it up to tier 2 because it's not auto-included. If you have other removal that's maybe a bit more expensive that can hit more stuff, I would still rather have that. So in that case, I would still put it in as a tier 3, as a filler removal spell.
Exactly. I mean, it's still removable, so you'll probably be playing it anyways.
Correct, yeah.
But if you have the choice, this is one of the worst removal in limited.
Yeah.
So tier 3. Next one?
Oh yeah, Argon Ts Machinations. For 1 black, we have an enchantment, and it says so whenever you lose life for the first time each turn, you get an energy. So basically, every time you're getting poked, you're getting energy, and we can pay 2 energy and sacrifice this thing to have each opponent lose 3 life, and we gain life equal to the life lost this way. So it's a 6 life point swing. I just don't think that's good enough for a card. I definitely don't think that's good enough for the mana or the energy we're pumping into it. And we also have to wait, doesn't even happen immediately. For all those reasons and more, I would say just put this card aside and look at something else.
Exactly, it's just not worth a card.
No.
So Gifted Aetherborn, 2 black, a 2/3 Aetherborn Vampire with Death Touch and Lifelink.
Yeah.
So we've seen something like this before.
Vampire Nighthawk,
exactly.
But this is Walkie's Vampire Nighthawk. Yeah.
So
this one's going for a stroll.
So this is just really good. Death Touch, Lifelink, 2/3 for 2 mana. That's really nice.
Yeah.
It has to be 2 black though, so that's a bit difficult, but still a tier 2 card.
Yeah. But think about it. If you're going 2 colors, which is realistic, I mean it is possible you have those 2 black on turn 2.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so I'll be very excited about playing this. I think definitely if I've got 2 of these, I'm looking to see if I can play black. Because think about just this turn 2 and then turn 3, another one of these things. I think you're winning the game with that.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Then the next card, Vengeful Rebel, for 2 and a black. So for 3 mana, we get a 3/2 Aetherborn Warrior. Body's pretty good for the price. I'm happy with that. It's also got Revolt. So when this guy enters the battlefield, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, target creature an opponent controls gets -3/-3 until the end of the turn. We've seen that hits that'll kill pretty much anything, especially some of the more annoying evasion and ability creatures. So I think that is super strong for you. You do need to make sure you got that Revolt. If you don't have that Revolt, then still for 3 mana, a 3/2, it's okay. That's not too bad. So it's higher than a filler because of the potential removal that it has attached to it. It's quite possible to get that. So I would say tier 2.
Yeah. I like it better than the white one that destroyed the tap one, because this
tapped,
exactly, and this is just 3/3, and that's really nice.
Yeah.
So, and it has 3 power, so I like this one.
Decent, very decent. Yeah, the other one's a 2/2.
Yeah.
Yeah, very strong.
So Foundry Hornet, 3 and a black, a 2/3 insect with flying. I mean, Funway Hornet attends the battlefield, if you control a creature with a +1/+1 counter on it, creatures your opponents control get -1/-1 until end of turn. So if he enters the battlefield, if you have a creature with +1/+1 counter, everything gets a -1/-1 counters on your opponent's side.
They don't get -1, they just get -1/-1.
Yeah. So that's actually pretty nice because we've seen a lot of X1s, but is it enough? Because you have to have a counter, and that we haven't seen many of those.
For me, very simply put, you can just ignore everything that it says after flying because that's probably not going to happen unless you're playing black-green. Unlikely. I think unlikely with the amount of +1/+1 counters we got in this set and in the Kaladesh. Just see it as 4 mana, I got a 2/3 flyer. Yeah, good. Alright, that's a good filler. We'll play it.
It's a filler.
Yeah, right? Perilous Predicament is next for 4 and a black. For 5 mana, we've got an instant that says each opponent sacrifices an artifact creature and a non-artifact creature. Okay, so there's a pretty good chance they're going to be sacrificing 2 things for 5 mana. And it's instant speed as well, which is a nice little bonus.
Exactly.
You can't choose what they had to sacrifice, which is the downside. But then losing potentially 1 or 2 things is, I think, quite decent. I don't see a moment when I wouldn't want to play this if I'm in black. I don't know if I'd be in black if I'd get a couple of these because it's pretty high. But if I'd probably want at least 1 in there.
But I mean, if I would see a couple of these, I would really look at black. I mean, if someone crews a vehicle, if he only has a vehicle and the other thing, then you don't want to play it if it's sorcery. But now it's instant, and you crew it, then you have to sacrifice both of these things.
Yeah, that is actually going to be very nasty for people trying to go for the vehicle route.
Exactly, and that's why I really like this one.
Absolutely, agreed. Tier 2, very, very strong, very strong.
Because we want to pay 4 mana for removal, and this one removes 2 things
for 5.
Nearly every single turn.
Yeah.
And it's instant.
Yeah, true.
So that's why I really like this one.
That's only feel bad when they've got a lot of tokens and stuff lying around.
True.
That's the only thing. But, not that many things that make that.
Yeah. So, Sly Requisitioner. 4 and a black. It's a 2/2 human artificer with improvise. And when a non-token artifact you control is put in a graveyard from the battlefield, create a 1/1 colorless server artifact token. So, couple creatures die, you get 1/1s. You paid 5 mana for 2/2 with improvise. But is it worth it? I don't think you have enough artifact creatures that will keep on dying. So just put aside.
Yeah, well, I mean, also just any artifact, as long as it's non-token. But still, you'd have to sacrifice those things as well because they're not creatures, and then you're getting the 1/1 they don't replace themselves because it has to be non-token. I also don't think it's going to be doing enough to warrant a spot in your deck. Maybe in constructed or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Last of the uncommons is Ironclad Revolutionary for 4 and 2 black. So for 6 mana, we get a 4/4 Aetherborn Artificer. And when this guy enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice an artifact. And if you do, put 2 +1/+1 counters on this guy, and each opponent loses 2 life. So you're really going to want to see if you can get that done, because then for 6 mana, you've got a 6/6, and your opponent's lost 2 life. That would be pretty nice. Yeah. So you do have to make sure you've got at least 1 artifact, and that can't be your artifact bomb. It can't be your super utility artifact that's winning you the game by itself, because you don't want to sacrifice that. So I'm curious about how often actually you're going to have a good target to sacrifice, and you're not just like, well, I guess I'll just play it as a 4/4 for 6, which is still okay body, 4/4 as we've seen, but you really want to get those 2 +1/+1 counters on this guy. And because of that, because I don't know how often you'll really have a target. You'll have an artifact, I think, but I don't know if you really want to sacrifice it. So that's why I'm putting it as tier 3 as a filler card.
Exactly. Well, every color has the create a servo token card. So that is important. Like, you will probably have a card that just makes a servo token when it's attacked.
Yes, but then you would have had to have that one before you played this one, and had the ability to make the servo.
I mean, it's a 6 mana card, so you'll probably have it before.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. If you do, then good. Otherwise, yes. But the situation can warrant that you don't have the ability to do that, and then having just a 4/4 for 6 is just not good enough. So it's a filler.
Yeah, because it's still a decent body for 6 mana.
Absolutely.
And if you get an artifact, then it's really good.
Yeah, then you're winning the game with them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. So that is the last of the uncommons. Let's have a look at the rares. The first of our rares is Battle at the Bridge for X and a black. We've got a sorcery with Improvise, so our artifacts can help us cast this. And it states that target creature gets -X until the end of turn, and we gain X life. Now, normally -X, just -X is kind of you know, I mean it's removal, but you gotta pump a lot of mana if you want to get rid of your opponent's 6/6, for example. However, in this case, you could get rid of your opponent's 6/6 because you're paying 7 mana, let's say, late game, and then you're killing their bomb, and on top of that, you're also gaining 6 life, which is kind of can pull you back into the game. They lose their thing that was winning them the game. You're back on life, which gives you a little bit more breathing room. I think that actually makes it much stronger than just something that gives -X. So I would say tier 2.
Exactly. Just the destruction and the life gain, the combination is just really good.
Yeah, and if you really want to, you can use it early game to kill that 2/2 or that 2/1 that your opponent may be threatening you with.
So Glintsleeve Siphoner.
Yeah, correct.
1 and a black. It's a 2/1 human rogue with menace, and whenever Glintsleeve Siphoner enters the battlefield or attacks, you get an energy counter. In the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay 2 energy counters. If you do, draw a card and lose 1 life. So if he enters the battlefield, attacks, so you have 2 energy counters. Then the third upkeep, or like the third turn, you get a card, lose 1 life. So that's pretty good. Especially with other cards that give you energy, you just keep on drawing cards. So
and you're doing damage because you're attacking, and it's got menace, so it's hard to block. So it's all in all, I don't see a situation where you wouldn't want to play it because it just is for a 2-drop. It's really strong.
It's just 2 mana, so that's really nice.
With built-in card draw, and of course, if you do have other ways to get energy, maybe you can get it more reliably rather than just having to wait every other turn for the energy that this girl gets you, because you can get it from somewhere else, perhaps. Very strong. Tier 2. Yahenni Undying Partisan for 2 and a black. So for 3 mana, we get a 2/2 Aetherborn Vampire. Aetherborn Vampire seems pretty cool. It's also got haste, alright, so can attack right away. And then whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1/+1 counter on this guy. And sacrifice another creature, Yahenni gains indestructible until the end of turn. Okay, so this is incredibly strong. It may seem like it's only a 2/2, but every time you're able to trade or use one of your removal to kill your opponent's creatures, this girl, I think, is getting bigger every turn. And as long as you have another creature on the battlefield, they are reluctant to use a removal or to block or do anything else because you can give her indestructible, which is just really strong. It's gonna be hard for your opponents to get rid of this, unless of course they have Battle at the Bridge. But still, I think super strong, makes me want to play black tier 1. Easy the game.
Exactly. I don't have anything else to say.
You don't have
really
to.
Good.
We just sometimes we can agree.
Yahenni's Expertise, 2 and 2 black. Is a sorcery. All creatures get -3/-3 until end of turn. And you may cast a card to confirm mana cost 3 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. So you can play Yahenni's Expertise and play Yahenni with it. So that's really nice. Just pseudo board wipe and playing something for mana cost 3 or less. What more do you want?
I don't know, but you're being once again greedy if you do want something, because board wipes in limited are very strong. I mean, they're strong in all formats pretty much, but in limited you're getting rid of so much stuff with this -3/-3. And remember, you say, okay, but it's also hitting my stuff, but you pick when you want to play this. So you're always going to get the best advantage. You get this card early, you think, okay, well, I'm going to take it easy. I'm not going to play all my creatures right now. Have your opponent dump their hand, and then you play this. And late game as well, you make sure that you can do it in a situation. You can also do it after combat, when they've blocked, they've killed some of your stuff, and then the -3/-3 might be enough to bring them over the edge and kill their creatures anyway. So I think very strong, always included in black.
Exactly.
Midnight Entourage for 2 and 2 black. So for 4 mana, we get a 3/3 Aetherborn Rogue. I think power toughness for the mana is already decent. Other Aetherborn you control get +1/+1. There are others, so you could play it. I don't know if you're going to be able to get Tribal in limited. That's going to be very difficult. You may have 1 or 2 on top of that. And whenever this guy or another Aetherborn you control dies, draw a card and you lose 1 life. So basically, once they do decide to kill it, or they find a way to kill it, it replaces itself and you lose 1 life. That is super strong. So even if you have no other Aetherborn, I still say play it. So just include it anyway, tier 2.
Exactly. It's if you don't have any other Aetherborn, it's a 4 mana 3/3, which isn't really exciting, but you can draw a card when it dies.
Yeah, it will do something. It will trade with something. Yeah.
And if you're playing black, you might have other Aetherborns, so there's only upside to this.
Only upside, absolutely, absolutely included. Awesome.
Secret Salvage, 3 and 2 black, sorcery, exile a non-land card from your graveyard. Then you search your library for any number of cards with the same name as that card, and reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. So, if you're able to pick 5 cards if you're able to get 5 cards of one single thing, and then it get killed, then you can get other 4 of yours into your hand. So this one is really, really nice.
How unlikely is that, Stefan? How unlikely?
Okay, one can dream, okay?
You can dream, but while you're dreaming, don't be playing this card. Actually, while you're dreaming, you can play this card, but don't play it at any other time, because it's going to be really difficult to make this work.
Yeah, it's just... Limited is really depending on the cards you get.
Yeah.
And
then it still needs to go into the graveyard first. You need to have played it, and then only you can get it back.
Exactly.
I don't know. I would say put it aside.
Yeah, because you only have like a couple cards here, you have multiples of, and then you really need that specific card.
Yeah, you need this one plus the other one, and you need to play the other one, and then only can you start to play this one, and then start grabbing the rest that's in your game.
Exactly.
Forget about it. Forget
just
about
put
it.
it aside.
Let us just have a look at the Mythics instead. Black only has one Mythic, and that is Herald of Anguish for 5 and 2 black. So for a steep cost of 7 mana, we get a 5/5 flying demon with improvise, so potentially it could be less. It also states that at the beginning of your end step, each opponent discards a card. Ooh, that is nasty. I mean, we like card advantage. This is card advantage because they're just getting less cards, so that's great. Also, for a generic and a black, we can sacrifice an artifact. Target creature gets -2/-2 until the end of turn. So it's also got built-in removal, basically. As long as we've got another artifact we're not too sad about saying goodbye to. And I think the demon doesn't really care about that anyway. So I would say just already for the fact that it's a 5/5 in the air, that there's nothing that can compete with that. That's winning you the game. Plus, maybe it's coming in earlier. Plus card advantage, or discard disadvantage, as you may want to look at it. Plus potential removal. What else do you want? Nothing. I don't know what else to say. Awesome tier 1.
Exactly. Just, yeah, it's big flyer, it has removal, it can get cheaper, everything you
just
want.
Pull it and go, yes, I'm playing black. Let's see what else we got in black. I hope I've got Walkie's Vampire. That'd be great. All right, those are the Mythics. Let's have a look at the conclusion. In conclusion, I think black is the strongest color so far. In my opinion, it's got the best removal. It's got some good bombs, some very strong creatures. One thing that the problem is with black is that it can do everything, but it usually does it a little bit less than the colors that are supposed to do it. So the draw is a little bit less, the flyers are a little bit less, etc. But it can always do everything pretty much. Yeah. And I'm very happy to use this as a filler color, but I'm actually also happy to use this as a main color just because it has so many cards that are just very strong. For example, let's say that the 2/3 Death Touch Lifelinker may not seem like a card that, oh, that's a bomb, but you know what? Those are the cards that if you have enough of that kind of stuff in black, that wins games, period.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's why I always like black, because it just has really good removal, it just does a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's, in my opinion, really better than blue, because I was really excited about blue.
Yeah.
Because blue has a lot of big flyers, and that's really important.
Yeah. Maybe you can't, I don't really see you being able to play mono black, for example.
Yeah, of course.
It just doesn't do it.
I don't think you can play mono in a Prerelease.
Sure you can, sure you can. But okay, but black by itself does need maybe a little bit more support to get its weakest parts to some more, to be even stronger, I think. So yeah, excited about black. Probably wouldn't mind playing that.
No.
And also don't forget to subscribe. You get a notification when the next video is coming out. Also join us on Facebook and Twitter where we have discussions on the cards. Let us know what you think, whether you think we're right, whether you think we're wrong. And that's it. So thanks for watching. I'm David.
I'm Stefan.
This was Budget MTG Decks.